let me get into some shit that I had on the back end. Fleas. People were saying, "Hey, like, would you collect this to see if it'll bounce?" No. Could it? Yeah. There's your stop. But for me, I mean, like, I would have thought that, like, to pick up around 4 was, I mean, but when it started, when it looked like it was going to lose 3, I just had to go. You know what I mean? And was that the right thing? I don't know if anyone can say what the right thing is in this type of a liquidity situation. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone has the answer as to what a right thing is right now. Because I mean, there's no bottom on these, and I don't regret the chance, but and I wouldn't put a lot of money into something that was literally just going straight down and just a pool of blood. So it wasn't a big deal. But and I'm doing this thing I'm doing here. It is non-frickin' stop. It's not. I was watching the video yesterday. It's just like, I don't know what to do, guys. And I try to explain it to someone, and they were like, "Stop doing it." I can't. There's something in there. There's something in there. You know what I mean? No questions though, because I don't know. Okay. So there's that. Please. BLMS, I said to you yesterday. No, not this. CBDS. I said to you yesterday, you are not. They're all the same ticker. I said to you yesterday, you're not wrong if you're still here. You're not. For me, like where I'm at now, because I'm getting very protective of capital, because I'm getting very protective of keeping this place and keeping my life going. Like, I mean, I'm not going to just flame out and frick off. You know what I mean? So I've got just a good amount, but you've got to move it around effectively, And so I felt like, I'm basically flat. I should have sold the Freeb, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Why not take that to YCRM? That was my idea, and I'm not unhappy with the decision at all. But if you had some capital left here, I mean, you're not in pain at all. From our entry, I mean, this was basically it. I think I had 38. So, you're doing good. You're doing well. Come on. So if you still got it, you could really begin to enjoy it. And that also reminds me of this, a real sneak hitter. Hi, been sitting here again with big ass bids. They're not selling. Is it possible? Is it possible that this is actually a legit merger? Because I'm not seeing the selling at all. It's back above this line, and it's another tough situation. And when you get into these situations, you got to ask yourself the question: what's the worst case, right? Like the worst case would be this gets whacked through, but it lives around here anyways. So if you had a small enough size and had a bit of a buffer, and we're willing to see it through and see if it goes to the next level, I'd rather do this than slap some news or play whatever game they're playing, wake up to an offering rug or whatever. It's a thought. It's a thought, because I'm starting to think that these guys aren't full of shit. There's that. Obviously the big turkey talk, YCRM. Pickleheads, they're standing. Pickleheads are standing up, and the reason pickleheads are standing up is because this dilly of a pickle here, I'm not seeing the selling now. And I mean, that could be the famous last words. I read the rudest tweet. It was like, as soon as he says I'm not seeing the selling, that's time to get out. Like, but I'm not. I'm not seeing the selling. I'm seeing something move. Can I do this? Thank you. I'm seeing something move on less and less volume. I'm not seeing huge puddles of dumping. There was a huge bid that got filled at the end of the day, but that wasn't even like an insane amount compared to whatever it is. There's us. Over the course of the day, I was like, don't do this to me. Don't freeze me out. Don't leave me out in the ice. And then for whatever reason, they got wild for it. And I don't know what the reason is. I want to believe it's retail standing up, but I've been around. I've been around these streets. But whatever is going for this all of a sudden, I hope they get it. And they get what they have, because on the daily, you've pretty much cooked all the resistance now. There's this weirdo candle that's on no volume, so I think we could amend it to here and say you've cooked it. But the reason that I have that is because of the 30, and you can see here, this is it, guys. It's above. It's above. And, you know, you got the future date. The DD is there. It's a pretty cool app. It's not Kratom. I don't even know what Kratom is. You know, and I've seen Kratom. What is Kratom? Because I've seen Kratom. Oh, good. Where I'm from, it's just an Advil and some coffee. Kratom. I'm talking about singers. Let's see what happens, guys. I should have maybe freebed out. I should have. But I mean, I haven't been treated this well in a while. And I'd like to see this could become a very, very big trade. And this is the circle of life. Everyone's talking about the circle of life when they're just repumping an old trip. That's not the circle of life. The circle of life is merger. Sorry. Be a thing. Have a run. Dilute it down to zero. Reverse split. Fall down to zero on barely any shares. Get to a price. Fatten it up a teeny bit to get it to a price where retail is excited about wanting to buy a lot of it. Announce a new merger. Have a big run. Work your way back to zero and do it all over again. That's the circle of life. And this right here, this is a baby lion. This is a baby lion. Okay? And I'm Timon. You might be saying he looks more like Pumbaa, but you're wrong. I'm Timon. Thank you.
Sure.
No. Okay. Been an interesting little trend lately. I'm Timon. Interesting little trend lately. Big bouncing, some tiny little dubs. And, you know, this RTSL had a pretty shocking move the other day. Really nice trade for people. Today it was Bloomios, which just got shot out of a cannon out of nowhere. People are starting to figure it out. And to me, the next one is Black Clouds. You know, because no one ever gave Black Clouds a good shot. Like, do you ever feel as if someone really, I mean, the biggest 30-minute volume bars is what, 3 mil? Do you think anyone really gave Black Clouds a shot that it deserved? I don't think so. So today, when they did Bloomios right after RTSL, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, and that's why I said it in the chat. I said this one's got to be next. So I tagged it. And I don't think it's going to be a big rush. So, like, if you're like, oh, on Monday, oh, God, I don't think it's going to be a big rush because there's still a seller lurking around in there. And And, people may not come around to it right away, but this to me seems like the logical next one. If they're going that direction with these, and if there's an audience that's coming together for these type of mega bouncers, I mean, this Black Clouds, oh my God. Get out of town, baby. At dub 3, 35? Come on. Come on. Oh, that's the wrong run.
Hey, is it real?
Yeah. It's just so many of these lurking around. So if they want to rip it, let's do it. So I've got that. Others for you to discuss. Kosk. Kosk, like I said, it's all about the front load. Boy, I'm doing it today. It's all about the front load on Kosk. And, I mean, they preloaded that news announcement all the way just to announce we're going to become a new business. Here they are again above 3. And, I remember IBGR, how it went. Like that went when the CEO got enough people involved in it and gave them the heads up or whatever. And it got liquid. So I have trouble justifying to the pace of it. You know what I mean? So I think you've got to just kind of just give yourself some grace to maybe 26 and just stay above it and maybe make a big move there. And if it gets to 26, there's enough liquidity that you can pull the shoot at least. So it's not a terrible idea. Oh boy. I thought there was a weed angle to this. Didn't you? Open what I ask. Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's a reach, but certainly this business could grow a lot if they pass safe banking, could it not? It's a thought, and I mean the setup. Oh, God bless. Come on, 14 million AS. If they pass safe banking, I'm going to keep an eye on it. Just like, just a reminder, NDEV, Weed Insurance Bro, that caught a bid today, by the way. Got to keep an eye on that. And then the other one, the Trip. I guess it's a low teen now. Oh, gosh. You know the thing. Look, here's the deal. Little political humor for you on a Friday. Let's see what this guy's saying. The safe banking action. Honest with, I don't. Part of the reason that this really just. That's a real. That one's piped right down the fairway too. Safe banking. Good golly. So if they pass it, there's another one. BLPG or EFG, certainly NDEV. If they pass safe banking, and I'm not feeling that any of the weed stocks on the OTC are a big rush. But there's some thoughts for you there. Bloomios, obviously it's hemp. They bounced it. I don't know how to enter it at this point. I mean, it could go right back to flat. I thought that the bet, because it's the identical setup, that I'd just go for Black Clouds. So that's how I responded to this. Could it continue? Sure. I mean, the setup's just sick, but it's been on our radar, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of people here had it, but so bravo to you. MNK, so they got listen to this. This pisses me off, by the way. Like when we were trading this on the big board, they traded like, I don't know, what, 300 million shares and it barely moved. So first of all, frick you. Second of all, now they're bankrupt again, and they sold out to the private equity firm, and now they're so they could try and get away from paying people for killing them with opiates. Could it bounce? Sure. Where would it bounce? Probably here. Blast through what? Blast through, I don't know, 15. Maybe you can pick up 15, drop 13 on it as a stop and see what happens. I mean, certainly they go crazy to buy these things. And, you know, part of the reason that they move like this is a short covering from like holding it, you know what I mean? And then that finally they just are like, okay, I'll cover it from holding it through. Bioadaptives, I mean, bravo to these people. Finally we hear from them. Livestock impact, animal supplements. And like I said before, this has been not a bad trade, but an insider trade from the beginning. I really could not wrap my head around why they cared about it at all. And as a result of that, I couldn't get comfortable in it. Like we had that initial run, and I understood that initial run just to be that people were moving this type of a setup, and that was decent. But after that, like I had no idea, and I just felt as if it was people who had participated in the offering running some type of a promo or something, you know. So it's good, it good for them. I could never get comfortable here because I know when I'm in it, I have no clue why, because there's no disclosure as to why it's moving or any material change to it at all. I'm just gonna say, hey, I don't know, and I'll never get comfortable in it. I'll always be stopping out. So that's that. CNBX, this is a dilution play. We tried to bounce it. Boy, no. Before that, this bounce here. It is weed, you know, and it is kind of an ugly trader. But with that being said, it's been shadow boxing with this 28 for a bit, and you just, I do have an alert set on it already. Good. Is that it? Yeah. Makes you wonder, you know, like if they're going weed crazy. I mean, that's, boy, oh boy, God, there's so many of them out there, aren't there? Imagine. So break through that 28, it's going to have to be something you'll consider. Certainly, I mean, there's a lot of dropsy doodles along the way because of the liquidity challenge out here, but excellent setup. That's that. The other one, final one to keep an eye on is CBDS, because we saw this filing from MJHI saying that they were still in the process of this merger with CBDS. And I understood this RW to say that no, we're not going to do it, right? Because that's why I thought that they were withdrawing it. And then I see that MJHI is still looking to complete that deal per their filing, that their late filing. You know, and so all of a sudden, yeah, it was right here. If you want to check it out, NT10K. So now I'm saying it's kind of gotten some life again. The setup is like wowie zowie. And now I'm starting to ask the question, is it getting a bid because of just weed? Because it says the word cannabis, which is entirely possible. Or is it getting a bid because they're beginning to close this merger, and maybe friends and family got the heads up that they're looking to close this deal? I don't know. But I mean, it lives here. It lives here. So if you ever wanted to find out, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because I'm trying to keep all my marbles. but it's something to think about. So that's what I got today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Monday, and I'm hearing that it's fall now. Summer's over. So now that things are picking up, and the whole OTC is picking up quite a bit. Excuse me. Thank you.